Many parents think of a gifted program as an academic VIP club, an honorary reward for students who bring home straight A's and follow the rules. But the reality in Tennessee's school system is entirely different. The state uses a very specific legal term, intellectually gifted. Under Tennessee law, gifted identification is explicitly categorized under special education. It is evaluated and managed using the exact same administrative structures as a learning disability. If a student qualifies, the school must develop an Individualized Education Program, or IEP. The entire purpose of this document is to legally mandate specially designed instruction that goes beyond what a standard classroom provides. Because it triggers an IEP, a successful evaluation requires proof that the standard classroom environment is actively insufficient for a student's learning needs. This decision tree shows how schools navigate that distinction. Starting with a bright student, the path splits based on educational need. If thriving with standard differentiation, the evaluation ends. But if they require specialized instruction to learn, they follow this path to receive an IEP. So the central question you have to answer as a parent is this: is your child bright and doing well, or do they have a documented educational deficit in their current environment? The trade-off built into Tennessee's framework is clear. The state guarantees advanced instruction, but only to those who actively demonstrate a need for it. It's up to families to decide if pursuing that evaluation is the right move. Tennessee uses a strict standard to measure that educational need. A student's abilities must be so outstanding that without intervention, those abilities actually adversely affect their educational performance. This comparison matrix will help us weigh different student profiles against that strict baseline to see who actually qualifies under state law. Let's look at the first row, the high achiever. This is a student with straight A's, strong work habits, and great support at home. When a school team evaluates this profile, they see a student who is already thriving. Because standard classroom differentiation is working for them, they do not demonstrate the required educational need. As a result, this student will fail to meet the special education criteria, meaning they won't receive an IEP. For parents, the trade-off is practical. You save months of navigating a stressful evaluation, but your child does not receive formal acceleration. An administrative rejection in this scenario confirms the student's current classroom environment is healthy and effective. Confusing excellent work habits with an actual educational deficit is the most common way families spend months pushing for an evaluation that goes nowhere. If you do decide your child needs an evaluation, you should know that a single IQ test from a private psychologist will not guarantee placement. Tennessee law dictates a holistic, multi-metric review conducted by a school team. Schools pull from multiple sources of evidence. They look at cognitive data, classroom performance, extreme depth of understanding in specific subjects, and problem-solving creativity. This holistic approach exists to ensure that students from varying economic, cultural, or linguistic backgrounds aren't overlooked by a single standardized test score. Because the team reviews so much evidence, the process is slow. It requires significant, ongoing coordination between your family and the educators. There is one critical efficiency to note. A student does not need to complete all the steps of Tennessee's Response to Instruction and Intervention, or RTI-2, before starting a gifted evaluation. The comprehensive evaluation offers strong legal protection against bias, but it demands persistent, organized advocacy from parents to keep the multi-step process moving forward. That level of persistent advocacy is most critical for our second scenario, the twice exceptional, or 2E learner. We can see this profile in the second row of the matrix. A 2E student possesses profound intellectual gifts, but those gifts are actively masked by a co-occurring disability like ADHD, autism, or extreme anxiety. On paper, these students often look like underperformers. Sometimes they appear as behavioral problems, making their actual giftedness incredibly difficult to spot without a formal review. When an evaluation is successful, the school provides a dual diagnosis, legally requiring an IEP that addresses both realities. This IEP simultaneously mandates advanced curriculum to engage their intellect, while building in the specific support structures they need for their disability. Securing this requires relentless advocacy from parents to prove that hidden educational need exists, but the resulting legal protection is unmatched. For the twice exceptional learner, Tennessee's gifted framework is the definitive legal mechanism preventing highly intelligent, struggling students from falling through the cracks. Navigating special education takes a toll on a family's time and energy. The decision to proceed comes down to whether that immense effort is worth the eventual impact on your child's education. This quadrant chart maps out that return on investment. We have the effort of advocacy on the horizontal axis and the impact on the child's learning on the vertical axis. If we plot the thriving high achiever, they land firmly in the bottom right. Pushing for an evaluation here demands high effort but yields very low impact, making it a poor choice. But if your child is profoundly bored, underperforming, or twice exceptional, they belong in the top right. The bureaucratic effort is grueling, but the high impact of securing an IEP makes it necessary. The state system is built to filter out families who just want a prestigious label, reserving structural intervention for the students who truly require it. If you determine your child has that need, your first step is simple. Request the district's specific gifted evaluation referral form and their procedural timeline. Then start gathering concrete evidence. Focus on non-grade materials, like examples of unusual academic intensity, deep reading comprehension, or complex math reasoning. The Tennessee Gifted Framework exists to secure appropriately challenging instruction that changes how a child learns.